8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Malabarachi and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The government says all divisional secretariats have been linked to the relevant parliamentarians in order to propagate the development process at village level. Minister Bandula Gunawardena thanked the President for not signing the MCC agreement with the US. Indo-Lanka discussions are now on fishermen's issues. Health authorities request pilgrims to not visit the Sripada and Nuwara districts during the first 2 months of the new year. The newly renovated Jethavana Archaeological Museum in Anuradhapura is open to the public from today. In world news, India halts UK flights amid new virus strain fears. General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana MP Sagala Karyavasam says all divisional secretariats are linked to the relevant parliamentarians in order to propagate the development process at village level. The Rural Development Network had been curtailed during the past government due to the inaction of former politicians. The present government has implemented a program titled Vadasamaga Yali Gamata to accelerate rural development. Minister Bandula Gunawardena thanked the President for not signing the MCC agreement with the United States. At a press briefing held in Colombo today, the minister said the former Yahapalana regime had prepared this agreement without the consent of the then President Maithripala Sirisena. He further said that the present government will not betray the sovereignty of the country under any circumstances. The Ministry of Fisheries said Indo-Lanka discussions on stopping Indian fishermen poaching in Sri Lankan waters will be held tomorrow. The discussions will focus on improving and protecting the livelihoods of Sri Lankan fishermen, as well as protecting Sri Lanka's marine resources. Fisheries Minister Douglas Devananda highlighted this issue at a recent meeting with Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Gopal Bagle. The next discussion will be held on the 30th of December 2020, the ministry noted. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
We continue with local news. The Sripada pilgrimage season will begin on this full moon Poya day. However, District Director of Health Services Consultant Dr. Imesh Pratapasinghe requests pilgrims to not visit the Nuwara district during the first 2 months of the new year. The reason for this is a rapid spread of the COVID-19 in the Nuwara district. Dr. Pratapasinghe added that pilgrims will be able to visit Sripada and other places of interest in the district once the virus is contained within our society. The Army Commander, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, says that another 146 persons have tested positive for COVID-19. Accordingly, the number of corona cases reported in Sri Lanka has risen to 37,407 in total. Meanwhile, the number of total recoveries climbed to 28,682, as 415 patients were discharged from hospitals today after complete recovery. Currently, a total of 8,549 infected patients are being treated at hospitals. Next, the main news story.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The newly renovated Jethavana Archaeological Museum in Anuradhapura was declared open by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa today. A sum of 80 million rupees was spent on this project. The artifacts that were unearthed by the excavations in the Jethavana archaeological site will be on exhibit from today. It is open to the public free of charge. That was a main news story. Watchlight follows.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
We now take a look at Watchlight. The police say 1,845 cases have been filed over motor traffic offences during special operations that commenced in view of the festive season. Deputy Inspector General of Police Ajit Rohana said that charges were filed against 113 drunk drivers. The DIG said among the 113 drunk drivers, 26 were identified as three-wheeler drivers, with several among the group identified as motorcyclists. The police media spokesman said between 5 a.m. yesterday and 5 a.m. this morning, 60 accidents were reported, with 2 deaths recorded and 20 individuals sustaining injuries. DIG Ajit Rohana said 9,000 traffic police are engaged in the special operations that will be carried out till the 5th of January. That was a look at Watchlight. A bulletin of world news will follow. The headlines. India halts UK flights amid new virus strain fears. Russia, Rwanda send military support to Central African Republic to quell election violence. Japan sets record $52 billion military budget with stealth jets, long-range missiles. India has decided to halt flights to and from the UK in response to a new, more infectious coronavirus variant spreading in the UK. Other European countries such as Germany, France and Italy have already suspended UK flights. Health officials say the new virus is up to 70% more transmissible, and there is no evidence that it is more deadly. With more than 10 million confirmed cases, India has the second highest caseload after the US. India's Ministry of Civil Aviation said that flights will be suspended from the 22nd of December until the 31st of December. Rwanda and Russia have sent troops and supplies to the Central African Republic to help counter a surge in violence by rebel groups ahead of Sunday's election, officials and a security source in Bangui said. Security forces and UN peacekeepers have been battling rebels who have occupied towns and roads outside the capital. The authorities accuse former President Francois Bozier, whose presidential candidacy was rejected by the courts, of plotting a coup with several militant groups. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga's government approved a 9th consecutive rise in military spending on Monday, funding the development of an advanced stealth fighter and longer-range anti-ship missile to counter China's growing military power. The Ministry of Defense will get a record $51.7 billion for the year starting in April, up 1.1% from this year. With Suga's large majority in Parliament, enactment of the budget is all but certain. To end this bulletin of world news, we take a look at the headlines again. India halts UK flights amid new virus strain fears. Russia, Rwanda send military support to Central African Republic to quell election violence. Japan sets record $52 billion military budget with stealth jets and long-range missiles. That ends this bulletin of world news. Development news is up next. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the Central Expressway will be extended to Dambulla. The program is implemented by the Land Reforms Commission. The Premier observed that the expressway to Dambulla would have been built a long time ago had not the government changed in 2015. He added that the government will do everything it can to accelerate development. That was development news. Next, we take a look at sports news. Jacques Kallis has been appointed as England's latest batting consultant for next month's Test series in Sri Lanka, a tour that the ECB insists is set to go ahead as planned in spite of the heightened uncertainty over the UK's latest wave of measures to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. The ECB last week stepped up its search for full-time appointments for their batting pace and spin bowling coaches vacancies, with applications due to close on January the 10th, meaning that Kallis's appointment may be the last consultancy role used by the board. Similar appointments were made for Jonathan Trott during the Pakistan Test last summer and Marcus Trescothick on the recent white ball tour of South Africa. That was a look at sports news, and business news is up next. DHL starts the international distribution of COVID-19 vaccine. For the provision of its citizens, the government of Israel received the first batch of the vaccine with flights operated by DHL Express and DHL Global Forwarding last week. The first DHL Express aircraft touched down at the Ben Gurion International Airport, Tel Aviv, last Wednesday morning and was received by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. That was a look at business news. Economic news is next.
Economic news, courtesy of
Business deals now easy. It just takes a few taps only. Anytime, get it done, all connected. Best discounts with real time. LOLC Real Time. Now download LOLC Finance Real Time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with zero cost and no benefits.
On to economic news. Foreign Secretary Admiral Professor Jayanath Columbage and State Secretary for Foreign Affairs of Romania, Colonel Feruta, held virtual bilateral Foreign Office consultations recently. A new roadmap for enhanced cooperation in prioritized sectors between Sri Lanka and Romania was identified at the third session of the Sri Lanka-Romania bilateral consultations. Focusing on cooperation in the labour sector, State Secretary Feruta stated that despite the pandemic, Romania has continued to issue work permits to skilled and semi-skilled workers from Sri Lanka. He stated that not only this week, 1,500 new work permits have been issued. State Secretary Colonel Feruta further stated that the economic stimulus offered by the Romanian government to workers in Romania has also been extended to cover foreign workers. That was economic news. Finally, we take a look at the weather report.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Finally, a look at the weather report. The Met Department says showers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north-central, Uva and northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota district. Showers or thundershowers will occur elsewhere. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Polonnaruwa, Matale and Kandy districts. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected in the eastern slopes of the Central Hills, northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota district. That was the weather report. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The government says all divisional secretariats have been linked to the relevant parliamentarians in order to propagate the development process at village level. Minister Bandula Gunawardena thanked the President for not signing the MCC agreement with the US. Indo-Lanka discussions are now on fishermen's issues. Health authorities request pilgrims to not visit the Sripada and Nuwara districts during the first 2 months of the new year. The newly renovated Jethavana Archaeological Museum in Anuradhapura is open to the public from today, and in world news, India halts UK flights amid new virus strain fears. That ends this news broadcast, and all set and ready to take over for the next program, Family Choice. Well, I saw him on the phone answering calls coming in thick and fast. Your friend and mine, Victor Raj, all yours.